Looks like we've got everybody. Do you have your witness?
She's in the restroom. She should be back shortly.
All right. When she's here, we'll call her.
She's here, Your Honor.
All right, let's bring the jury out, and then I'll call. We're on the record. All right, if we're on the record, I'll call it State versus Grist, case 241101170.
All rise for the jury.
Thank you. Please be seated. All right. Counsel, please call your next witness.
Your Honor, State called Diane Restelli.
Ms. Restelli, if you'd come forward, please, I'll swear you in. Just roughly in front of me. You raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under the laws of the state of Utah on penalty of perjury that the testimony you give in this matter today will be true and correct, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat up here. You know, you've testified before. Just please keep my last instructions in mind, especially on giving direct answers, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Restelli.
Good afternoon.
For today's hearing, how would you like to be referred? Mrs. Restelli?
Mrs.
Okay.
Restelli.
Okay. Mrs. Restelli, will you state your name and spell your last name for the record?
My name is Diane Restelli. Last name spelled Restelli.
And Mrs. Restelli, did you know a person by the name of Matthew Restelli?
Yes, he's my son.
Mrs. Restelli, I'd like to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 32, which is a photograph. One moment, Your Honor.
Thank you. They can't do anything out without you. You're the brains of the outfit.
That's my fault. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Sorry, Mrs. Restelli. Sorry, Amy.
Exhibit 32, you said?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And if we just show that to the witness. You recognize who that is a photograph of?
This is my son, Matthew.
Is that an accurate depiction of him? State would move to admit and publish State's Exhibit 32.
Any objection? Thank you, so admitted.
And how old was Matthew when he died?
42.
We need to publish it.
And did you raise Matthew?
Yes. My son, my husband and I, Tom.
Tell me a little bit about your family. Did you have other children?
Yes, I have 3 sons. Thomas Paul, the third, is my oldest, and he lives in Denver. Obviously, Matthew lived in Temecula, and I have my youngest son, Jonathan Mark, who lives in Trabuco Canyon near me.
And were you actively involved in raising Matthew as a child?
Absolutely was involved. Because I had 3 sons, I didn't get to do the girl things. So I even joined the Boy Scouts, you know, and participated in camping and Boy Scout activities. I did everything I could to be a part of their lives in athletics. Matthew was a mountain biker, so I would take him to the mountain biking races so he could, you know, race competitively.
And do you know what if Matt was left or right-handed?
Matt was left-handed.
And were you involved in Matthew's life when he was an adult?
Absolutely. I pretty much saw him maybe once every 2 to 3 weeks. You know, he was very much in my life. You know, he lived with us as an adult before he was married or with anyone. And, you know, he was part of our life in helping me do a lot of things. You know, he was my mechanic for my SUV. He was my repairman. He was my confidant to talk about a lot of different things. So, yes, I was actively involved in Matthew's life. even to the point that he would call me every night and give me a rundown on his activities of the day and what kind of things were going on in his life and talk about his children.
And how close did you live to him?
I lived about an hour away from him.
And what was his personality like?
Matt loved the outdoors. You know, he just loved, you know, sharing pictures of little spiders, and you know, he just had a really cute personality. He was helpful. He was caring. He was personable, and he had a lot of heart. You know, when anybody was in need or had a problem, he tried to see what he can do to help. I mean, he was always helping stranded travelers on the road, giving them water, helping them start their cars, helping them tow their truck out of a ditch or fix a tire. And this is Matt. He was a very caring individual. And I have to say that he promised his dad on his deathbed in 2020 that he would look after me, that he would keep track of me and help. And he absolutely did that.
And was he married?
Yes, he was married to Kate Restelli.
And do you know when they got married?
They were married, I think, in 2016, I think it was.
So did you interact with her often?
Yes. When I first met Kate, you know, she was kind of like dressed more like a goth, you know, very dark, she's very tough, had a very tough language ability. And, you know, coming from a professional background, you know, trying to model, you know, having some positive, good behavior that she could learn from a mother-in-law, you know, some positive things. And it was hard. It was hard because she had that rough edge. But she started to do some better things, you know, learn how to cook and do some better baking. So I think I felt like I started to have a really good relationship with Kate. But, you know, she always had that undertone of roughness that was really hard to get to that core.
And how many children did Matthew have?
Matthew had 2 children with Kate and 1 child, Lucas, from a previous relationship.
And I'd like to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 33, which is a picture. I could show that to the witness. You recognize that?
Yeah.
And what is that a picture of?
That's the family. They're on a tractor that Matt had fixed and overlooking the hills in Temecula in the wine country.
Does it accurately represent the picture of him and his kids?
It does.
State would move to State's Exhibit 33.
Any objection? No. So admitted, thank you.
Move to publish.
So ordered.
Did you have a chance to observe their family dynamic?
Yes, I did. Since I was out there off and on, you know, I would be there, bring them food for dinner, spend the night on some occasion, and I was able to see just, you know, some of that rough edge, you know, that Kate always seemed to have, and I even witnessed it in how she talked and treated my oldest grandson, Lucas, and it was uncomfortable, and I could really tell when Kate was getting worked up, you know, and that we had to really be careful about what kind of words and what we spoke to her about. And I'm pretty good at that, you know, being a retired college professor in the nursing field. I'd had a lot of, you know, mental health training and knowing how to talk to people to make sure that you can, you know, keep them calm and not get worked up. But Kate was a real challenge in that regard.
Mr. Facemire and Mr. Restelli, can I see you up here for a minute, please? Minute recess. I'm going to have you step out into your room, the jury room, for 5 minutes. Hopefully not much longer, and then we'll get started again.
All rise.
Just let Faye know when you're ready.
One moment, Your Honor. Can you approach it again?
Yes. Said to the jury, we've had had a legal issue come up. I'm going to excuse you for the day. I want you back tomorrow, ready to go by 1:30 sharp. For the rest of the week, then, Mr. Wattabwe, are we on track? A little behind? What are you thinking?
Yes, I think we still potentially could finish Friday, if not Monday. I don't think we go past Monday on the state side.
All right, and then I'll ask you to coordinate with Mr. Facemire then on Friday, so he'll know, because he'll want some time to take a little bit of time to decide whether he's going to call any witnesses or whatever, so we want to give him that courtesy, instead of just, I don't want to just stare at you and go, okay.
Judge, I think it's been a very equally moving attorney conferences on this. So
No, you guys get along really, really well. I'm not worried about that at all, but just kind of give him a heads up so he's got a good idea of what he needs to be expecting as we get even closer to Monday, please. Anything else from you today then, Mr. Facemire?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and I do mean that seriously. You've all got along extremely well, and I really appreciate that. It's very, very obvious, and I'll be mentioning that to the jury, and I hope the audience has noticed how well you have been able to work together in professionalism between both sides. So thank you. We'll be in recess then for the day. Thank you, gentlemen.
All rise.